Hello everybody and welcome to X4, and today we're going to be answering one of the major questions I get on the new Q&A section of our guide. Now the biggest question I always get asked is why are my mining ships not mining? So today we're going to be looking at a few reasons why that might be the case and what we can do to resolve it. So the first thing is, are you using a mining ship? Now if you look on my screen here, we have some icons here and it's very easy to miss that they are slightly different. The mining ships are slightly tapered so that they go into a point, or a flat point should I say, and the trading ships are more of a square. So if you're trying to select it, there we go, move them out of the way so we don't have that problem again. So if you selected a trading ship and you're in the behavior and you haven't noticed things, you'll go here and you'll notice that the sector auto mine is like, oh well, I can't do anything. But the trade is also blanked out as well because the trading now requires 2 and 3 stars to do anything with. So it's sometimes easy to miss. Make sure you check that out first.
Awaiting orders.
Our second thing to notice about a mining ship is it just sat there doing absolutely nothing. You've selected it to do sector auto mine. You've selected a material that's there available that you've checked, but it's still doing nothing. If you sent it to a sector, there are times where it'll go to a default of fly and wait. You've told it to go to a location, it's sat there waiting and it's doing absolutely nothing. Double check your behavior and double check that the order queue doesn't have the fly and wait. Even though your default behavior is sector auto mine, the fly and wait section supersedes the sector auto mine. To resolve that, all you do is remove the fly and wait and your ship will start doing mining. The third one is to check that there are actually resources in the area for you to mine. The easiest way to do that is by dropping resource probes and seeing what there is in the area. You can see straight away, even if there is small or large amounts of the material, you can see that there's hydrogen, nevidium, ore and silicon in the area. The same goes for in this section here. Sometimes there are resources in a little pocket in the system that you may miss, but don't worry about it because if you are not specifically looking for that item, it's probably got very little in it, so you don't need to really worry about it. However, if your ship is just sitting there, this one's going for ore, and it has ore in the sector. It's got a larger ore in the sector of where it's going to, so it's going to pick that area first.
Awaiting orders.
This ship, however, is selected to ice. You can see that it's actually filling up with ice, but our probe doesn't say there's ice there. That's a good example of having the material in the area that you may not necessarily know about. The third one is set to nevidium, which is collecting nice and easy. Had we had none of the resources in that area, your ship would literally just sit there doing absolutely nothing. This ship here may struggle to get ice because there isn't much in the 2 areas researched, so it may end up just sitting there. Double check that with your resource probe. As you've seen there, it isn't 100% all the time, but it's a good indicator of what is available. The biggest one we find is that ships are actually filling up with resources and then just sitting there not delivering them. The biggest cause of that is that the systems themselves are relatively set. Each system will have its own area where you can normally expect to find resources, and they're pretty set in their ways. What isn't set, however, is what factories there are in the system. Each of these factory systems change depending on what type of game you play. This system here has an ore refinery, as you've just seen me check. However, it may not have anything to produce water from ice. It may not have an area where you can sell your nevidium, and it also may not be able to take silicon in the area. These are big factors when it comes to doing the early stages of mining, because the early stages of mining requires you to stay within the sector automatically. What I mean by that is if you go to behavior and sector auto mine, it requires no stars. It's one of the easiest things to level up your captains with if you get it in a good area, because They're in and out, back and forward constantly, getting resources. The advanced automine and expert automine increases the distance in which your anchor space goes to. So now that we've got it set on sector automine with no option to increase the jump gate distances that they travel, you'll see that this ship here is full of Navidium, but it's doing absolutely nothing. When you look at the commands, it's got it set to free mining, searching for trades. This is key to look at, because if there is no way for it to sell anything, it will continue going through between calculating parameters and searching for trades. That's the biggest clue that this ship here has nowhere to sell. Your resolution to that is one of two things. The first one is you can drop your cargo. The easiest way to do that is to slide the scroll bar and then hit drop. However, before you do that, your best option is to change the where that it is mining first, so it doesn't pick up anything that's nearby, including the resources that you drop. Ship. We're going to cancel that because we're going to go for the second option. The second option you have is actually manually going to sell the resources themselves. You can go ahead and you can tell it to trade with, and then you can set it to sell the wares that it's got. This ship here isn't actually taking this because it's the equipment, the trading station. So what you need to do is actually find a station that's going to take your Nvidia. This may take a little bit of process to find an area. However, sometimes it's worthwhile because once you've found the area once, you don't need to find it a second time because you know where it is. This way of doing things is a little bit more tricky because it involves you to do it manually, so you have to remember to go back to check. But that's only until it gets to level 3 or 3-star captain, and then it can start doing the advanced automine, which allows you to go to a bigger area to look for trades. That may still not resolve what you're actually trying to do, because if there is no factory or selling point within the range of the ship, then it will still have the same problem. You may want to move that ship to a nearer system, or you may want to build a station in that system that takes the materials that you're mining. It's obviously got the resources there in the system. Save yourself a bit of time, spend a bit of your cash, and building the resources there. However, if it's earlier on in the game, which is probably more likely if you've not got 3-star captains, then your best bet is to dump the material and then set it to a different ore until you earn enough money to resolve the problem. So we can see here that this trading station, the Taladi one, will actually accept the Navidium. However, it has no buy or sell offers available at the moment. The one that we want is obviously the buy offer, because they want to buy stuff. However, there's nothing there. So you need to start thinking to yourself whether or not it's worth collecting the Navidium in such a system as you are in now, or whether to change to something else. It's worthwhile measuring off what's going to sell now rather than trying to sell things that might make you more money in the long run. Because as you can see there, Navidium is 413.60 credits. Very expensive compared to some of the stuff you can do. However, it's not accepting it, so you still can't make the money. So it's worthwhile just dropping this ore and moving on to something else. Something like silicon maybe. Obviously this area here doesn't offer silicon sales or ore, but there will be refineries nearby that will accept it. You have graphene for a start. Trade with graphene. We don't collect methane, so we can't sell to that one. But you can see straight away by right clicking and going to the refinery, you can see exactly what you can sell to it. And most of the refineries will take some sort of resource. Parts probably won't. Quantum tubes, electronics, and you just go around and aim for a sector. But bear in mind this is manually done, so it makes it a little bit harder. Hopefully that's helped you pick up on a few problems that you may be having with your miners. Just remember to make sure that you are actually set right in your behavior and read what it actually says when you go to your information, because it does actually give you the reason why. But the best bet is always the fact that it's sat there doing absolutely nothing. You see the agricultural goods there with the ice that we had. actually working for us. So the only one that currently has sold is ice. Even though we can collect ore and we can collect Nevidium, they're absolutely useless to in this sector with such a low level ship. As I say, I hope that's helped out with you in a larger scale for your mining operations. If you've got any questions whatsoever involving mining, then please feel free to put them in the video here. Or if you've got any questions relating to mining or the X4 series games or anything like that, then make sure you leave it either here or on the Q&A video, and I'll make sure that your questions are also put into my videos moving forward. But that is it for this episode. Hopefully you've enjoyed it. Let me know in the comments section. Give me that thumbs up if you have enjoyed answering your question, because I know a lot of you have had this problem.
I was asked to drop my cargo.
Hopefully you can start getting yourself a little bit better with your mining ships and get that money flowing. Until next time, everybody, take care for now. I'll see you on the next one. Bye bye for now.